Sunrise, everybody. Part 4. Sleep starts in the morning. Now, most people think sleep starts at night, and so you start setting up like your bedroom and you do your nighttime routine. I hope that you're doing your, or at least a nighttime routine, not necessarily my nighttime routine. You should have your own strategy for getting your best sleep at night, and that includes a routine. So one of the routines should start in the morning with getting yourself, get your ass out of bed, get outside. Like most people, they want to lay there, like maybe I'll just like think about things, I'll remember my dreams, I'll lay there for a little longer, and then if it's a work day, we're shutting off the alarm, we're shutting off the alarm. I remember I used to do that, so I would set my alarm for 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm gonna go for a run first thing, I'm gonna do all this stuff before I get to work. And it's gonna be amazing because you know when you get up and you get out and whatever it is, you go for a run, you go to jiu-jitsu class, you walk the dog, you take a shower, you have something for breakfast, you get to work, you're like, I did a lot of shit today. And you feel pretty good, and you feel pretty good about yourself. Well, part of the reason is you're getting those dopamine hits from the sun while you're outdoors. You've moved your body a little bit, and more importantly, you've started the sleep cycle. By getting yourself out of bed and into the morning sunrise, you will sleep better that night than you would have if you didn't get outside. So I'm not going to say that you're going to sleep perfectly every single night just by getting outside at dawn. Some people, that's the only change that you need, and you should really try this. For other people, you need to do some other things to get your best sleep, and this is one of them. Get yourself out of bed as soon as you can. Don't let that alarm drag you down and try to get 10 more minutes or 20 more minutes of sleep. It's actually not helping you. Unless you can get a full 60 to 90 minutes of sleep, not worth it. Get out of bed, get outside, you will feel better. Your melatonin clock will start so that 14 to 16 hours after you get outside. I mean, I'm telling you, if that's like midnight, you're talking 2 in the morning before you have a potential for melatonin. And if you're getting your melatonin coming in at 2 in the morning and you're getting up at 5, that's not very much time for rejuvenation and all of the deep healing benefits that melatonin provides. In addition, melatonin does a number of other things that we can talk about in other videos, like set what you're hungry for. Are you hungry for sugar or fat, protein or carbs? That is going to be dictated by how much sleep you're getting, and honestly, when you're seeing light in your eye in the morning. Because when you see that light in the morning, you're setting that melatonin timer for later in the day to give you better sleep than you would have had if you did not get outside. So I know it can be challenging, and I know like I'm getting myself up early. I almost never need an alarm. Now, I will set one once in a great while, like if I have an international flight, sure, I'm gonna set an alarm. Sometimes I set one just to make sure I don't sleep too long, because when I'm getting really great sleep, I will try to go to bed earlier to get more sleep. But if I'm still having that sleep inertia in the morning, it is more important for me to get outside at dawn than to sleep later. So I will get myself out of bed often around 5 to 5:30 in the morning. Again, if the sun's not rising in the winter till 8 a.m., there's no need to get up at 5, right? You can get outside, but nothing's gonna happen. You've gotta be outside when the sun rises. So often I'll get out, and then sometimes I'll wanna be distracted by like, well, let me plug my phone in and download messages. Then when I do that, I'm next to my laptop. So see, I don't use my cell phone on Wi-Fi and cell data. I'll plug it into the Ethernet line and it'll download all my data for free, really fast. And then I don't bombard myself with these signals that are also really bad for your sleep and your biology in general. We could go on and on. I have a whole course on the effects of electromagnetic frequencies that Heidi and I recorded. So then I'll get pulled in, like maybe I should turn my laptop on, maybe I should check my email. And then like an hour goes by and the sun's already risen and I missed that magical window. Now that doesn't happen because I have made a commitment to myself to get outside. That starts to happen, but I'll always catch myself. So once in a while, it's like once in a week, I'll go and I'll start kind of starting to do those things, and I'll just immediately stop, set everything down, and I'll go outdoors. I'll get right out here, I'll look at the sun, I'll watch the sunrise, because it is so critically important. And the people that can do this for, like you do this for 2 weeks, give it a try for 2 weeks, and I will almost guarantee that you are going to get better sleep than you would have if you didn't do this. And for some people, it will make all the difference. Your sleep starts in the morning. Get outside as close to sunrise as you can and stay out there for about 10 to 15 minutes. Promise, it can be completely life-changing. There was a story of somebody on a podcast recently. So we did this podcast called the Down to Birth podcast. And it's all for new moms and how things go during pregnancy. A lot of stuff that's like over my head, except for the light piece. And one of the ladies said her friend had a daughter who had all of these medical problems, and they literally couldn't find any doctors to solve it. And they had plenty of money. They were living in Connecticut. And what they ended up doing is moving down to El Salvador for some number of months. I think she said 6 or 9 months they moved down to El Salvador. Now that's pretty awesome if you can afford to do that and you have a job that allows you to work remotely. That's a pretty sweet deal. Now what they learned is there's a medical doctor from the US that lives down there and teaches the science of light, much like we do. And he trained them on the science of sunrise. And what they found is their daughter healed while they were down in El Salvador from getting outside at dawn, not from all the other pharmaceutical and technical things, getting outside at dawn. So they were able to come back from El Salvador, back to Connecticut, and just make sure that they get their daughter and themselves outside at dawn. And that helped with all of the things that they were going through that nobody else could solve. I think you should try this by starting your sleep and your sleep routine when you first wake up. It will make a critical difference later when you are sleeping way better than you would have. Trust me on this. Instead of tossing and turning and having insomnia, you could be sleeping so much better. Just get outside when no one else wants to, and it will make a huge difference in your life.